over $3,000 with just 125 customers. Every industry has been utilizing these online tools except for the music industry. Many artists make a living with zero streams.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Is it making sense?
DIY.
DIYers, over the last week, my amazing video editor, shout out to Toothless, he made a crazy video, and he didn't ask me to do this, but I told him, I said, look, I'm going to react to this video because it is giving way too many gems at a very important time in independent music about direct-to-consumer, about where the industry has been going. My friend is from Trinidad and Tobago, and he has been dropping awesome content. He's been giving us fantastic edits for all these videos, so first of all, shout out to him for making this video. With that said, I want to play this and I want to react to it and get your thoughts on it, as well as provide some extra gems for those of you looking to go direct to consumer.
Since the middle of last year, I've noticed an uncommon method that many artists have been using to make a living with zero streams. And the best part, you can do this with a small audience. If you stick around, I'll explain step by step how you can get started today. The internet, and by extension social media, has made it very easy for a single person to perform jobs that just 15 years ago would require an entire team.
Let's talk about it.
Somebody gonna
Let's
have to
talk
tell the
about
truth,
it.
and I'm gonna tell
Let's talk about it. We're living in a time now where, regardless of how you feel about an AI, even before AI, when you think about how much access you have right now to talk directly to your audience through live streaming, through email newsletters, through your Patreon, through whatever service that you're using, there are things that used to require talking to someone who costs money to put in a good word for somebody else to put a good word in for you. Just to build a website. Man, websites, I remember when I first got started, were like, you started at $1,000 to get a quality website. Now you don't even need nowhere near $1,000 to get started on a subscription for a Shopify, a Wix, or whatever the case may be, for a website that looks pretty damn good, if not competing with the top of the top.
But what's strange is that every industry has been utilizing these online tools to monetize their audience, except for the music industry. Let me give you an example. In the visual arts industry, there are many artists, both traditional and digital, that sell their work directly to their audience to make a living. This method of selling your work is the norm in the visual arts community. Now, let's imagine if those same visual artists who sell prints for $20 or $50 decided to spend money to upload their work to a website that in turn pays them 0.3% for every person that looks at their drawing.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Is it making sense? Why am I paying you to do a service that I have the money to do for myself, that I can hire a department for to do themselves? Why do I need you to talk to my audience? Why do I need to put my music on your streaming platform? Y'all don't even put energy towards making sure I get taken care of financially. Getting paid every 3 months. Kiss my ass.
That sounds insane, right? That's exactly the position the music industry is in because of streaming. The idea of making music has been linked with being a superstar for so long that people are willing to sell themselves short for years, just until they get to the Billboard level, because they believe that's when they should be making the big bucks. Newsflash, it's 2024, not 1969. You don't need a loan from a record label to change your life, and you don't need 100,000 monthly listeners to make a living. Direct to consumer has always been the best monetization model for creatives who don't want to split the pie with anyone that didn't contribute directly to the art itself.
Facts.
And with Kanye deciding to sell his new Vultures 1 album directly off his website, I hope it shows other artists the actual power and utility of direct to consumer.
Think about it for a second. We've talked about it, but think about it for a
Somebody
second.
gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Call them what you want, but that was a brilliant move, and the timing was very brilliant. For direct-to-consumer to be more of the norm, I think it takes some very bold moves that need to happen in the independent space. I think it needs to be multiple people. A lot of folks give a lot of credit, rightfully so, to a Ryan Leslie, rightfully so to a Nipsey Hussle, rightfully so to the traditional independents like Strange Musics or the Rhyme Sayers and the multitude of other folks that do it. But this time period, when people are hypnotized, when they're zombies, even the artists themselves are hypnotized into believing like, like, well, that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. Let's just go ahead and put as much quantity as we can behind the music, completely disregarding the fact that they love the music. They'll put that off to the side in the name of paying bills because according to the people who house their music, the shit's not worth anything. At a time where he could be enjoying Vultures One being a #1 album on Apple Music, then being with a label, instead he says, nah, I'm going to take that off and I'm going to actually sell my shit directly from my website. I think it's still a bold move that has a ripple effect amongst our community of artists as well as listeners who have an expectation of like, yeah, I'll buy your album from your website. I did that with Kanye.
And it turns out Kanye is not the first to do it. Of course, there's Ryan Leslie, who has been a pioneer in the space, using his SMS marketing to sell directly to his fans. But there's more recent examples. Hit Boy and his father, Big Hit, released an album last year that was only available on their website. They even went as far as to include a magazine that you can purchase, physical magazine, that also comes with 3 extra songs.
This is why I say selling is going to be such an important skill to build upon, and not your ability to be a slimy salesman, but knowing what makes products great, what makes brands great. Understanding like, why is it that, I don't know how you are, but any Apple product I buy, I keep the box. It was a very unconscious decision. I just felt like it looked so sleek, it looked so dope that it was like almost like a statement. When people walk in my house and see a bookcase and then they see like the iPad, I don't know, it's just something about the design of it looks so sleek. Then I came to find out a lot of my friends were the very same. They had their iPhone boxes still with them. So when you see people who are buying my albums right now, they're not buying them to play them. They're buying them the same way as Toothless just said, they're pieces of art. Now, not everybody treats it like art.
Adele, back in 2015, delayed her album 25 from going onto streaming platforms so she could maximize profit and have her music be worth more than $3.99. The YouTube producer turned the full-time rapper Curtis King released 2 albums using this direct-to-consumer model and made over $3,500 in the first week with just one of his projects, and it only sold 125 units.
Promise y'all, when y'all be watching these videos, you talking to somebody who do this shit. I ain't theorizing by it. These bags under my eyes didn't come on accident. I'm out here. It ain't always easy, but I'm out here. I can say that I am doing the things that I am talking about, which is why they don't like when I make content like this. They're gonna have to deal with it.
That's right. Over $3,000 with just 125 customers. Another popular YouTuber,
Facts.
Mary Spender, has uploaded her most recent album directly to her website and it's not available on streaming. And of course, there's the famous example of Nipsey Hussle selling his 2013 mixtape Crenshaw for $100 each.
Facts.
Of which he sold 1,000 copies, making an insane $100,000 from just 1,000 fans alone.
I knew I wasn't crazy back when I first saw that story. When you ran a search on that mixtape and you saw people's response to it, everybody loved Nipsey now. Rest in peace. Everybody loved Nipsey now. But when he did that, the snarky little I ain't never accomplished shit head ass people on the internet was like, who does this nigga think he is? You're not gonna make any money that way. Come sell your shit by the penny like the rest of us. But I also remember my reaction more so than anything else. I said, ooh, I wasn't crazy for feeling like this streaming just don't feel like it's for me. I didn't have anywhere near the audaciousness I have now, but I said, ooh, this is a sign of things to come. When he did that, he put his money where his mouth is, and he said, we as independents, if we want to be successful, not even just successful, we want to be extraordinarily successful, we have to take risk. We have to create experiences that can't be streamed. That's a quote directly from Nib. Never forget that.
Meanwhile, Spotify will only pay you 0.3 of a cent after you get your first 1,000 streams. Do you see the problem? I bet those 2,000 views on your music video doesn't look so bad now, does it? As you can see, the idea of direct-to-consumer has become more and more popular as artists realize it's the best way forward for them to make the most amount of profit for the art that they spend so much time creating. To me, if you're spending time working on a piece of art, whether it's a song or a painting, you should be able to set the price.
Let's talk about it.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm
Let's Talk about it. When you see how thuggish some of these corporations are in the name of convincing not only you, but the very people who get to buy from you that, yeah, that music, that ain't really worth shit. Matter of fact, we did some calculations. We think it's 0.0034 stream. You let them people determine stuff. You let them become such a powerhouse for an amazing product. We got to give props. Streaming is an amazing product for listeners. The thing about direct-to-consumer, it's not sexy to brag about your direct-to-consumer to people who value vanity metrics. They're going to look at you like you're not really popping. You only got 100 people that supported your album, Curtis? You only had 140? Really? Yet and still, nobody says anything about that restaurant in your neighborhood, that mom and pop restaurant that only had 140 customers today. Your numbers are your business. And what you have is something that you can build off of. Because if you can find 140 people like I did, who will believe in not just the music, but believe in an idea and a concept, you can find 280. If you can find 300, you can find 600. If you can find 600, you can find 1,200. And if 1,200 is where it maxes out at, and every single one of them people is paying $100, you do the math.
I'm sick and tired of playing business and all of that pretending. I done heard a million ways to make a million. Now I'm really about to get it. And I don't care who get offended. There's a limit on my time and it's ticking. Man, I'm tired of playing business. And now I know that y'all pretending. I done heard a million ways you'll get paid, but now I'm really out here getting it. I don't care who get offended. I can't let you waste my time, homie, quit it. I don't wanna hang around you rappers if this music ain't your passion. Not cause I'm a purist, but clearly I feel detachment. It's two categories of rappers I thought was cracking. So you look inside their eyes and see a little Donnie Brasco. The rapper on the TV that be lying about his dreams, and the up and coming rapper that be lying about his dreams. I thought that he was merely a product of a lot of practice, working on his craft, but he been working on his acting. And in the underground you got a man that's a distraction. He always wanna build, but he ain't never got a ratchet. You always talking money, nigga, you a Franklin Hatchet. Wanna ball, but you never come to practice. Sick and tired of playing business.
No one else. With all that said, how can you and I do this for ourselves? Well, I'll give you the plan that I've devised for myself based on ideas from successful creators like Dan Cole and working closely with Curtis King as his editor. Step 1, create music as often as possible to the highest quality that's within your ability.
This is facts.
It's important to strive for mastery of your craft because your songs are the product that you'll be selling to your customers, and creating often will give you a catalog to pull from when deciding what to sell.
Now, let me speak on this specifically. He makes a valid point in that when you choose to go direct to consumer, you having a catalog now becomes the biggest asset that you could have. Having a bunch of songs is, you could make an argument that it's kind of the same thing, but the idea of it is taking all of these individual songs that you would only get, let's say, $1 for 40 songs that you did. But if you could have opportunities to have 10 songs that are packaged together as a album, or 7 songs that are packaged as an EP, and people are coming back based upon them seeing content that you created for one of those songs on that EP, and they're paying now 10 to 15 to 20 bucks for that. Or platforms like Bandcamp allow you to also do a subscription service. But even if we took it off of Bandcamp and put it on a website, which is something I'm developing right now, on your website you could sell access to digital downloads through a digital download app that you can get if you're using Shopify or if you use Sellfy.com, right? As just the service to a third-party service to take care of that end of your business. My point is that there are services out here that allow you to do that, where you don't have to be concerned with streaming to execute on these things. They would never be able to execute on these things quite the same.
Step 2, pick one platform and build an audience on that platform by creating content around the product that you're selling. In this case, it's music. Make sure to pick only one, and once uploading to that becomes so easy it starts to get a bit boring, that's when you know you can expand to another platform without it messing up your uploading schedule. Step 3, use a website like Shopify to build a store to sell your music with no additional fees being taken from the revenue that you make. Step 4, funnel your audience into your store via content, all the while collecting the email addresses of your customers. If they bought once, they'll probably buy again. These are your loyal fans. From my research, this is the basic plan that every content creator in every industry is utilizing to monetize their audience.
Look, if you're going to spend all this time on social media, I got to give them the bomb for this one. I was fired.
have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
If you're going to spend all the time that you spend on social media, I spend a lot of time on social media. If you're going to do that, you might as well make it a plan, and a plan that can give you the opportunity to drive traffic to the very place that you're depending on to be a hub to sell your music, to be a hub that supports not only your business, but maybe even just your livelihood to begin with. It's very important that you have somewhere to send these people in the event that something terrible happens, like your music goes viral and you don't have not anything as a call to action to send these people to. I've seen it happen many a times. Only thing that you can tell them is that, just follow me here. And I promise you, like in a few weeks, I'm gonna drop it next Wednesday. These folks are not here for next Wednesday.
Still not convinced? I'll take my own advice and embark on my own direct-to-consumer journey, which I'll document here on this channel. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No.
It will take time to build our audience, but the barrier for entry is so low that anyone can get started in no time.
Here's the one thing, I would talk to him about this. The barrier of entry may appear low, just like as signing up to a Shopify is very low. If you can afford the subscription, you can get yourself in there. We have your own e-commerce business and start up. But the reality of it is, because you are fighting with segments of society changing their opinion on something that before was a very passive decision. I'm not buying music, I can stream it. Because you're talking to a majority of those people, it is going to be slow, but it is also not going to be a success story for everyone. Success is not reserved in direct-to-consumer just for people with an audience. It's reserved for people who build a buying audience.
You're building a career, not gambling at a roulette machine. It will take work and thoughtfulness to learn how to market and sell. But once you have it, you can never lose it. With the small amount of money that you make per stream, coupled with the possibility of getting your music removed for alleged artificial streams, going directly to your audience and promoting your own website is quickly becoming the more mainstream option. Even Meek Mill is jumping on. I hope this video helped you as much as it helped me.
Meek Mill got a whole lot of other problems. I don't think he want to take on this. He got a lot of shit going on in his life right now. I don't think he want to take on direct-to-consumer. Toothless, please keep this in here. Meek, you got to take care of some other business going on. Direct-to-consumer might be, it's a lot of work, fam.
If you want to check out my sample pack, Blue Dash Jr., the link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I need to attack one of the biggest fights versus this. And there's a part of me that wants to hesitate even fighting this, because I started to realize, Curtis King, these people don't want to be competition. Let them live with their own failures. Chill. Fuck yeah. These folks don't want it. Don't encourage them to go get it. But no, that would not be in my character. I saw this comment here on his video, and it said, yes, but you already need some sort of established audience who would be willing to pay directly for the product. Most people have either Spotify or Apple Music where they listen to all of their music. So unless there are already fans that would be willing to pay for it, it would be incredibly hard to change the mindset of people who already pay for a subscription to get as much music as they want. Sorry to tell you, these are the words of someone who has never won. So I have to assume these are the assumptions of someone who is losing. These are not words of abundance, my friend. First and foremost, here is the truth about it. In order to sell anything at a high clip, you need customers. Yeah. Imagine if you apply this same mentality to, I'm not going to buy music equipment until I have an audience. I'm not going to buy a microphone until I have a music audience. I'm not going to buy a DAW until I have a music audience. You have to set up a business in order to conduct business. Yes, you cannot sell Big Macs at a McDonald's that hasn't been built, but somebody's got to build it first. You build it and they shall come. It's not up to you to change minds. Nobody said that you're supposed to be a mind reader. No, it is your job to do your job and allow it to be such of quality that people choose to be a fan of what you do. But this is a loser's mentality. I'm sorry to tell you, that is a loser's mentality. But then what I realize when I zoom out, it's yet another excuse for people who don't want to do the hard work. This shit is hard work. Direct to consumer is hard work. And for some, it's unnecessary hard work, especially when you have the ability to just pay your distro kid, distribute it out there into the world, and let them do all the work. Well, guess what? When you let somebody else do all the work in their house and determine the rules, the problem comes in that they get to determine what you get paid. That's your daddy. Up and coming artists, you got to stop thinking like that, because that is stopping you from even having the opportunity to set up shop. Music is the only industry where we think like this. You got a stay-at-home mom right now, ain't even thinking twice about selling her homemade salts that she created, that she only used to share amongst her friends in her suburban neighborhood. But she decided, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and you know what? I want to try my hand at selling salts to the rest of the world. That is a real business, by the way. That is a real story. I'm paraphrasing, but that's a real story of a mom that made multi-millions from her home in 2015, I believe, because a few of her friends said, you got something really good here with these salts. A few. If you have a few listeners, if you have a few proof of concepts, you'd be the same situation as her. You have a product, a quality product. If you think it's hard work just to get started, they're going to tell you the truth about your music, and maybe you don't want to hear that. So go back with your streaming zaddy and keep getting, you know what I'm saying? Keep getting your 0.33, you know what I'm saying? Keep letting them take them pennies out and, you know what I'm saying, making it rain on you. That's all you, baby boy. That's all you. Those are my thoughts, though, DIYers. You let me know yours. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.